Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today I'm going to make a really cute body, a crossbody bag with these daisy granny squares, these retro looking granny squares. And I think I actually want to have the join using the whip stitch, but I want to use a contrasting color because I actually wanted to be part of the design, okay? So rather than have my two squares together and join them on the three edges, I'm going with the right sides together and then turning them inside out. I'm going to actually have them joined with the right sides facing out, okay? And I'm going to use a burnt orange kind of a yarn. This is all done with medium weight Caron Simply Soft yarn. These granny squares are made with just yarn scraps. And so what we'll want to do, and sometimes I may, but if you have a longer project, sometimes it's nice to clamp it, and then you'll know exactly where things are going to line up. But I like to, since I'm going to use this as, I'm going to do whip stitch on the outside, and I want to use it as part of the decoration. You would normally start and probably do it on the inside two loops, and come through and keep going on the inside loops. This is your whip stitch. You just keep going every single stitch, putting it through and going across, all right? But I want, like I said, I want to make this part of the decoration of the bag, so I'm going to be going through both loops. And what I've done is I've made a piece of yarn that is quite a bit larger than the bag because I like to make sure I don't run out. But I'm also going to use, when I do the strap, I'm going to use this lighter colored off-white yarn and then the orange in the middle of it to help contrast, and I'll have a place then too to weave in my ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna, well, I'll quick show you here, just a quick little demo, is I'm going to go through both loops. I'm going to actually start in the corner right here, just put it right through the loop there, and then I'm actually going to go through both loops, oops, on both sides, and I'm just going to keep going over and coming this way, and every single stitch, the top two loops here and the top two loops here, I'm just going to continue to pull my yarn through. Like I said, I wanted this as part of the decoration of the bag. And I think that this is going to look really cute, especially when I have it in with the handle of the bag. So this is the way I am going to do it, rather than the two inside loops, because I want it to be part of the decoration again. Well, come on there. So I'm just going to continue to do this all the way around three sides. It'll be this end, this end, and this end. And then I'm going to work on having my my handle. And I'm not sure yet if I'm going to have a clasp of some sort. It seems like it would be nicer with a clasp. I haven't figured that part out yet. So isn't this gonna, I think that this orange is gonna look really cute with this. So I've gone through both loops on both sides to come up with this look, okay? But you could just go through the inside loops. And I have the wrong sides together and the right sides are on the outside. You could, you know, join it with the right sides together, and when you're done, turn it inside out and you wouldn't see this. You could also do the invisible stitch and go along and you wouldn't see the seam either. So there are a number of ways you could join this. You could join it with a slip stitch, but I wanted to actually have this as part of the decoration of the bag. Okay, so I'm going to keep working on this, and then when I get to the handle, I'll show you what I'm doing there. Okay, I have my little bag joined here. Both of my squares are joined, and these flowers are a 3D. I don't know if you noticed that before. Both of the sides. Now, I have not weaved in my yarn ends here yet. I've just tucked them in the bag for now. I'll weave those into the handle when I get that done. And I'm going to make a handle two-tone. And normally, when I'm crocheting a handle, I'll go back and forth. But this is going to be a nice, light, smaller bag, so I'm just going to crochet up and around the length. And I'm thinking I don't know, 30, 40 inches for like a crossbody bag. If you wanted to do a smaller bag that would go around your arm, then I'd probably say about 18, 20 inches. But all I'm going to do is, in this space right here, in this corner space, I'm going to join this rust colored yarn because I want the two-tone. And we'll tighten that up. And all I'm going to do is make a chain. Make a chain as long as I want it. And then I'm going to join it to the other side. 5. Okay. So I'm going to keep going until I have this long enough. I have 10 so far. And I'll show you joining it to the other side. And so I'm going to join it on the same side over here. Okay. I'm just going to put my yarn through the hole on the corner hole on the opposite side. And I've got to get my yarn figured out here. Here's my long yarn. I'm just going to bring it right through and then right through the loop and do like a slip knot right here, okay? Now, I have 2 pieces joined and I'm not going to leave it at that. What I'm going to do now is crochet all the way back on the other side with single crochets, okay? So I'm just going to make like a little, one more little slip stitch here. There, just to kind of get on the right side. All right, so here's my chain, and you could actually do a back loop if you wanted to. You could actually chain in the back loop, but I'm going to chain through the loop because I'm actually going to come on the other side of this. Come on, it's not working from here. I got a little bit too snug, but I'm going to get there. I'll get it in. There we go. Got it pushed in. Anyways, I'm planning on adding a row of white on either side of this. So I'm just going to do a single crochet now all the way back. Then what I'm going to do on the other side is join my off-white yarn. And then I'm going to do a single crochet on this side. And then I want to do another single crochet on this side yet. And then I think that that'll be real pretty and tie into the bag nicely, and then I'll weave in all of my yarn ends and I'll be done with this pretty thing, unless I decide to do a clasp. I haven't in the middle. I haven't figured out if I'm going to, or maybe I'll put a button there. A nice little button might be a nice little embellishment. I'll have to look through my buttons and see what I have. Okay, I have my slip knot on my hook, and I'm just going to join my other white yarn here, right here, just like I did the other side. Just bring my yarn through and pull that snug. And then I'm just going to be working on the back stitches. So this is the side that I just ended up on right here. And so now this is where the chain stitch, the bottom of it was. So we're going to insert our hook here. And I want to make sure I start with the very first stitch. I think that that's the one right here. And then we're going to bring our yarn through with a little slip stitch, just like we did before. Kind of brings everything closer. All right, now I can start working. And now I'm going to do my chain 1, and then I'm going to crochet right back on the first space here. That chain 1 is just so I can crochet back into the first space. So I just pulled this tight in. There we go. And now in the bottom part of every single chain stitch, it's a little bit tight, and you kind of want it to be really almost, because you don't want it to all come apart on you. I'm going to do a single crochet. So we're just going to work across the entire thing doing a single crochet, slip stitch it to the other side, and then come back on this side. I think on this side, we'll see. I'll see what it looks like, and slip stitch it, and then I'm going to weave in all my yarn ends, and then we'll be done. So right now, I'm just going to keep doing my single crochet, and I'll show you how this looks right now. So it may not look like much, but it's starting to come together. And once I get all the yarn ends weaved in and stuff, it'll look just fine here. But that's how it's looking. And I might just go on this side here with a row of single crochet on the way back, because that does kind of look kind of nice, doesn't it? That'll tie in nicely with our sides here. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll meet you back. This is how it looks right now. And on the other side here. I just finished my last stitch. This is just a, remember that initial yarn end here that from the whip stitch I did on the side. I have not weaved that in yet. I'm going to. Then it'll look really nice once I do. And I have a nice spot here in the handle to weave it in, which will also give it more stability right there. But on the other square, so we've worked in the back square, so this other hole right here in the other square is what I'm going to put my hook through, yarn over and bring it through, and then work a slip stitch right here. And that secures that. Now I do think I want to put a row of single crochet going back up the other way. So I'm going to turn this so I can work on it. And I think what I'm going to do, to get my yarn here, is let's slip stitch over to the other side. All right, let's just work our yarn in here. I have a little bit too big a loop right now. Here we go. I'm just going to kind of push my yarn in here. I'm just going to slip stitch to get to the other side. And I'll put my yarn right here too. So now it kind of gets me over to that base over here. And so then here is where my stitches start. All right, so then I'm going to just start working. Let me see, right here. Here should be the first stitch, and it's going to be a little bit tight. I'm going to have to pull it a little bit so I can get my hook through there. The second one, the second stitch will be fine. I might just put it in that space here. I don't think anybody's going to notice. Oopsies. Once we get past this first one, it's going to be fine. Okay, now I can work right in the single crochet stitches like you would normally work your second row of something and work in your both loops in the single crochet. But then what we have is we have this rust color in between this off-white color, and it kind of mimics what you'll see on the bottom end of the purse. So I'm just going to work all the way around to the other. So that's kind of looking nice. And I'm going to work all the way around to the other side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end with the slip stitch back into the bag over here. And then I'll weave in all of my ends. It's looking pretty messy right now, but this will look really nice once it's all said and done, okay?